Over the years, there has been significant growth in the African fintech ecosystem. In 2021, it was recorded that approximately 573 African fintech startups existed across various verticals. The rise of fintech can be attributed to affordable smartphone penetration, easy access to internet, a broader network reach, and a useful expanding urban population.
I think, look, it's been great progress to date, but I think at the same time we're just beginning. I think we're about 1% of the capability that we have to cover, right? So it's amazing where we've gotten to, but I think this is where the work really starts. We can't rest. We can't assume that the work is done. We really have to now create 100 times more value, 100 more companies to come into the space to add value, to help solve real everyday problems that the average Ghanaian and African face, and that takes a lot of work, time and effort.
This is Louis Nelson, Head of Product Growth and Customer Experience at Cowry. Cowry is a financial platform that aims to empower the African middle class by providing them with reliable, secure, and seamless ways to manage their finances.
What is your general overview about the fintech ecosystem in Ghana?
Well, looking at the trajectory of how the industry has moved, it's pretty impressive that we've moved from the point where we have basically mobile money happening on SIM cards, the applications being built by different financial service providers. Today, as you can see here, you have people that offer loan services, people that are doing buy now, pay later services. We have companies here that do credit scoring. So you can see that the industry is really thriving and there's more space for improvements really. But then we can see that this is going to happen if we have events of this nature over the years to come.
Well, first of all, fintech has evolved significantly. 10 years ago, you were going to be charged almost 10% if you ever wanted to make any form of transaction on any platform. There's Momo came, the interoperability. Now we are seeing Web3 solutions. So, nutshell, fintech in Ghana has evolved. It's continuing to evolve. The Fintech Ghana Association is doing a great job in bringing all the partners together, so there's also more collaboration, and that means that in the future we are going to be able to do more transactions for less, in my opinion.
Great.
Despite a global slowdown in tech funding, African startups raised $1.9 billion in 2022. This shows that VC funding is heavily skewed towards fintech compared to other tech areas.
And I think it's really about foreign interest, right? Because VC funding in Africa, in Ghana for that matter, is driven a lot by foreign interests. All right, so you don't have many locals participating in venture capital investment in this part of the world, and so the theses that we see are usually from these foreign investors, like I said. And these theses are mostly skewed towards what is working already in some other markets, like the US, the UK, and so they bring these theses to Africa. Forgetting that in Africa there are other challenges that we need to address as well. So what we need to do really is to encourage local participation in the VC space, because we believe that with local investors they can have a better appreciation of the issues that confront of the market or the countries.
It seems that VCs have found a successful investment model with fintechs in Africa, leading to huge funding in that particular area.
VC funding, I would understand rationally, like any investor, is looking for a proper model that they can invest in, that they can believe in, that they can see a working model that they can trust, and a founding team that is ready to actually get that model to fruition. Now that model must also be viable within the market. Now when you look at the various areas like the healthcare sector, like the financial sector and others, you see that it's actually the financial sector where people have been able to prove workable models that can scale. And so VCs also look for highly scalable services and solutions. And it just turns out that of all the pitches that come out, it looks like it's a favorite, but it's not intentional. It's not like they are just coming out to say we are only investing in financial services. It's because these are the models that are appealing to what they are looking to do.
Now, with majority of the funding going to fintech, how does that positively affect other areas like edtech or agri-tech?
I believe that if we are able to build and nurture the fintech space to a certain point, it will actually have a positive spillover impact on the other sectors. For instance, if we are able to get a lot of disposable income flowing through the various chains in the fintech space, it's very likely that other sectors will benefit, because we're able to channel some of the
resources or funds there to support their growth and development as well.
Now, in the center of digital growth in digital payments, fintech apps play a dominant role. Commonly, it's assumed that fintech is all about apps.
Fintech is not all about fintech apps.
Fintech is not all about fintech apps. That is a relatively true statement, because I think today, especially, there's been a lot of conversation about policy and regulation, because the technology is there, the infrastructure is there, but so often the issue is policy and regulation. And I think I was just talking with somebody earlier, there are so many silos, right? Africa is a huge market. Technically, it's made up of many individual markets, but there are a lot of silos, and those barriers need to be kind of broken if we want to have the kind of financial explosion, if you will, of innovation and impact that we're looking for. I think a lot is happening within markets. That's really quite interesting. But the apps are really just like the tip of the iceberg. Everything behind it is a lot of policy, a lot of regulation, a lot of just interoperability between various institutions. So yeah, definitely a true statement.
Fintech is not only about apps based on the delivery mechanisms, right? But it's also about setting considerations and certain principles. So for example, improving access and allowing for faster transactions, reducing bureaucracy, amongst other things. Basically, financial services with technology.
If you were to name one particular problem concerning fintech in Africa, what would that be?
Oh, that's easy, compliance.
This is Hannatu Adeboyega, the Vice President of Sales for MTech.
One fintech problem is compliance. I think fintechs tend to underestimate the amount of work that is put into compliance. They assume it's a one thing. So when we show people the demo, they think, oh, what do I do with it later? What do I do with the solution afterwards? And they forget that it's constantly updated. Compliance is an everyday thing. You sleep, you wake up, and something's changed. How do you know? How do you interpret it properly? How do you understand it? How do you know what to do? That's what Beyond Compliance can help you do. We are there to interpret it. We're there to let you know if something's changed. We also help you assign it to tasks. So if it's not your core responsibility, we assign it to a team. So that makes it easier for you. We're able to track it. And in this situation where there's a loss of job resources or personnel resources, we're able to give you that sustainability and continuity in your business. So you're not floundering, has it been done? Have we done this? Do we need to do this? Really, we help you solve that problem. So one problem that we've identified, and we're helping you solve is compliance.
But beyond compliance, it seems that every fintech solution that exists now is focused on payments.
I think everyone is focused on payments. There are other sectors and problem spaces that can easily need financial service organizations to also focus there, right? Like insurance, like pensions, being able to offer loans, right, credit to customers and people, not only in Accra, but outside Accra, and then expand the services to other African countries, right? And we also need things like cross-border payments, which will allow trade to easily flow between boundaries, right? Basically breaking the barriers that exist because of these boundaries. So I think we should move out of the space of just payments and then look at other areas for which the technology that we have can also solve the problems in that space.
Resilience and growth has been demonstrated in the fintech ecosystem in Africa. The market is projected to reach $65 billion by 2030. Now, I wanted to find out what fintech players were expecting in the foreseeable future, especially in the fintech ecosystem.
The first one will be integration, so inclusivity. Everyone having access to solutions, like the basics. I'm able to receive payments, I'm also able to make payments, and I'm also able to take any form of financial instruments. Can I buy stocks? Can I invest on the platform? Once we get this done, I think that it will give an opportunity for us to be more creative.
Well, in Ghana, I would say that there are going to be new opportunities because of AI. And I can see now that a lot of banks are partnering actually with fintechs and then allowing fintechs to handle certain kinds of operations for them. There is not much competition that is going on in that particular regard like previously. So now there are a lot of opportunities for partnerships to increase adoption and scale existing incumbent financial services. So that's why I believe it's going to happen a lot of that. We are going to see a lot of that in the next 1 to 2, 3 years.
In the next 2 years, I really want to see a number of businesses that can easily access loans, like without going through the hassle of going to a bank or a savings and loans to fill out a form, right? It would be great to basically have the loan come to me instead of me going to the loan, right? And this is based on data that I share openly with organizations that provide services and financial services to me, right? It would be also great to see things like buy now, pay later, which would help people spend more and help businesses to actually have inflows coming in, right? In terms of things like artificial intelligence, we want to see people's finances easily being analyzed and advice being given to them in the best way for which then they can improve their lives. Because if you give access to the multitude of people in the country, especially around financial access, it really creates a great benefit for the entire economy overall. So people spend more, businesses produce more, and then you basically have a growth in the ecosystem.
Very great.
So from this video, we see that the African fintech ecosystem has immense potential. Even though there are challenges that needs to be dealt with, we can only hope for the best. I hope you learned something from this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment below. Don't forget to like and also subscribe, and then share with somebody. Thank you for watching.